Welcome to Signature TV News. I am Charles Pius. First, the headlines. Gunmen kill 4 policemen, FRSC officials in fresh Enugu attack. JTF uncovers 50 illegal refineries in Bayelsa. In sports, Manchester City climb top of table ahead of Manchester United versus Arsenal EPL game. Details in a moment. The 10 million naira bounty on the killers of 2 police officers in Enugu State on Friday by Governor Peter seems to have had no effect, as Saturday witnessed yet another attack on 2 operatives, each of the Nigerian Police Force and Federal Road Safety Corps. The attacks reports say took place at Oba and Eham Alomona in Udenu and Nsukka local government areas of Enugu State, respectively, on Saturday. The 4 personnel were killed in the onslaught, while others escaped with various degrees of injury. The hoodlums also attacked and set ablaze a Hilux van belonging to the traditional ruler of Igali Amala community in Udenu local government area, Patrick Eze, popularly known as Igwe Waziri. The monarch, who was reportedly caught in the web of the attack, miraculously escaped unhurt. The gunmen also burnt an FRSC van during the attack. Governor Peter of Enugu State had earlier vowed to apprehend the assailants, who killed 2 policemen on Friday with all the resources available to the state government. The governor enjoined members of the public to come forward or call the police and other security agencies with any useful information that could lead to the arrest of these criminals. The Anambra State government, through the Operation Clean and Healthy Anambra, has sealed hotels and other business premises over environmental concerns and disobedience to court summons. The managing director of the OCHA Brigade, Celestine Aner, who led the enforcement team on Sunday, said the action was necessitated by the flagrant disobedience to environmental laws by some hotels and leisure center operators in the state. Aner says the enforcement was due to a public outcry over the environmental state of the areas where the businesses are located. He noted that the issue of disobeying environmental laws has become a problem that is posing a threat to the sanity of the environment and the ecosystem in general. Reports say most of the affected business premises were located in Oka and environs. The sealing of the premises came after weeks of court notices served by the agency and the Ministry of Environment on them. The Joint Task Force, codenamed Operation Delta Safe, has uncovered over 50 illegal crude oil refining sites in the Beseni area of Yenagoa local government area of Bayelsa State. JTF Commander John Okeke, who led the operation on Sunday, says the illegal refining of stolen crude oil was taking place in each of the sites. Okeke says he had earlier warned oil thieves in the area to desist from illegal refining of crude oil or relocate to other areas. Though no arrests were made, he urged public-spirited persons in the area to volunteer useful information that could or would help in curbing activities of illegal business, as the JTF cannot do it alone. He assured that the JTF would not relent but would continue to chase after the oil thieves to do what they described as clearance action, warning that the JTF may come up with more drastic measures. Also uncovered in the area was a large open pit the oil thieves dug that could accommodate over 10 trucks of alternative gas oil. It is believed that the open pit is used to store stolen crude oil from where it is distributed to their refining sites. The Minister of the Federal Capital Territory, Nyesom Wike, has conceded that he made a mistake to support Similaye Fubara to succeed him as the governor of the River State. Wike, who was speaking at the function in Ogu, Bolo local government area of River State on Saturday, apologized to the people of the state for what he described as a mistake. Acknowledging that he is a human who is bound to make mistakes, he assured the people, however, that the mistake would be corrected at the appropriate time. Some days ago, Governor Fubara was quoted as saying that he appreciates Wike for supporting him to become the governor of River State, but would not worship him. In what seemed to be a direct response to the statements by Fubara, Wike in his speech said that there was no time he told anyone to worship him, as he is not God. However, the minister said that politicians ought to be grateful to those who supported them to attain office rather than showing ingratitude. Britain's Foreign Secretary David Cameron says stopping British arms sales to Israel if it launches a ground assault on Rafah in the Gaza Strip would strengthen Hamas. Israel ordered Palestinians to evacuate more of the southern city on Saturday in an indication it was pressing ahead with its plans for a ground attack, despite U.S. President Joe Biden's threats to withhold the supply of some weapons if it did so. Cameron said he did not support an operation in Rafah in the absence of a plan to protect hundreds of thousands of civilians sheltering in the southern border city. However, Britain was in a completely different position to the United States in terms of providing arms to Israel, with Cameron noting that the less than 1% of Israel's weapons that came from Britain were already controlled by a strict licensing system.
To them, it's not so much a principle, because actually it's really, they are a massive state supplier of weaponry. They're involved in the IDF tactical and strategic thinking. It's a totally different situation. And I'm not really, what I want to do is make sure British policy has impact. We've got three things we want to achieve. We want to stop the fighting, get the hostages out, and remove the Hamas threat. We want to get aid into the Palestinian people in Gaza.
And we'll talk about that.
We crucially want the long-term solution of the two-state solution that Nadine was talking about. What I measure is, are we making progress on those things? Now, it's frustrating. Not enough aid is getting through, but we're hammering away every day on open the port of Ashdod, get this pier built off the Gazan beach, switch on the water and the fuel back into Gaza, get the 500 trucks a day. That's what we're doing, hammering away on that, because that will make a real difference. I'm not really interested in the sort of message sending. I'm interested in what can we do to maximise the British pressure and the outcome that will help people in their lives, including getting the hostages, including British nationals, by the way, released. There was a
Lithuanians are voting on Sunday in a presidential election expected to hand a new term to incumbent Gitanas Nausėda, a staunch supporter of Ukraine in its two-year war with Russia, following a campaign focusing on security concerns in the Baltic states. Nausėda, 59, a former senior economist at a top bank, has the support of 29% of voters, a recent Delphi Spinter Trimei poll showed. His strongest challenger is Prime Minister Ingrida Šimonytė, 49, the only woman running with 14% of support. Early voting allowed Lithuanians to cast ballots from Tuesday through Thursday, with Sunday being the main polling day, with results expected after midnight if no candidate wins more than 50%, which is likely according to opinion surveys. A runoff vote will be held on May 26. The governor of Belgorod has visited a Russia apartment block where at least 7 people were killed after it was struck by a Soviet-era missile launched by Ukraine and shot down by Russia. In one of the deadliest attacks to date on the region of Belgorod, Ukraine launched what Russian officials say was a massive missile attack with Tochka ballistic missiles and an Adler and RM-70 Vampire multiple launch rocket systems. Video posted by Governor Vyacheslav Gladkov showed officials and volunteers at the scene. Russia's defense ministry had earlier said the attack, which is called a terrorist attack on residential areas, involved at least 12 missiles. Russian news agencies say at least 7 people had been killed and 17 injured, including 2 children. Others are still trapped under the rubble. Both Ukraine and Russia say they do not target civilians, though many civilians have been killed in the war by both sides. There has been no comment from Ukraine since the attack. Chinese observers have warned China to watch out for America's new experimental AI-powered F-16 fighter jet with potentially faster reaction times than human pilots. U.S. Air Force Secretary Frank Kendall was recently taking on a flight aboard a modified F-16 powered by artificial intelligence. Reports say that warplane flew Kendall in lightning-fast maneuvers at more than 550 meters per hour. Analysts in China say AI-controlled F-16s might give the United States an edge in future air combat, giving it better maneuvering capacity than human pilots, and the automated platform would also mean fewer in-air casualties. But Beijing-based military analyst Fu Quanshao says while the AI-controlled F-16 might react faster than human pilots, the United States had a long way to go before it could use the technology in real air-to-air combat. Fu says such learning would include air combat tactics, target analysis, and deciding on whether to fire weapons, which are not easy tasks for an automated platform. In sports, Manchester City have gone top of the Premier League table following a 4-0 win over Fulham on Saturday. The champions opened the scoring in the first half through Josko Vaggiol's composed finish. Pep Guardiola's men doubled the lead through Phil Foden's one-time finish before Vaggiol and Julian Alvarez rounded off scoring. The win takes City top to 85 points after 36 matches, one more than Arsenal. The Gunners have 2 more matches left, starting with Sunday's trip to Manchester United. However, City will play Tottenham Hotspur in their outstanding game on Tuesday before next weekend's final fixtures. Real Madrid kick off the celebrations for their 36th La Liga title at the regional government headquarters at the Madrid City Hall. Newly crowned La Liga champions Real Madrid were handed the trophy on Sunday and began their bus tour of the city, stopping at the regional headquarters and City Hall before heading to Bayelsa Fountain, their traditional celebration spot. Real Madrid earned an emphatic 4-0 win over relegated Granada on Saturday to extend their unbeaten league run to 28 games. Carlo Ancelotti's side continued their superb form following their midweek Champions League semi-final win over Bayern Munich, reaching 90 points in the standings, 15 clear of second-place Girona with 3 games remaining. At the regional government headquarters, players and Ancelotti thanked fans from the building's balcony and urged the ecstatic crowd to sing and cheer with them. And that's the news this hour. I'm Charles Pius. Thanks so much for watching.